I'll tell you why. You
Hey, what's going on, guys? So for today's quick tips, I'm going to be running through some of the challenge rewarding strategies that I use and I see a lot of professional players use as well. A couple of tips are definitely going to help you have a safer early game and also enable you to play more aggressive towards your vision. And you're going to be denying the enemy jungle a lot of ganks because of your vision. It's going to spot them out and you can back off and play a little bit more safely. So the first ward I'm going to be showing you is simply going to be preventing level 2 jungle cheeses. Now, if your enemy is like a Pantheon, a Jarvan, Shaco, there's a lot of junglers that can even Lee Sin sometimes. You want to hover in this mid lane top side, pop the ward over at just about 130 as the lane collapses, and you want to come back to lane. So the junglers are going to be doing their red, and as soon as they do their red, they just pass straight through here, and you're going to spot them out, and you can just come straight down here. Also, you can play aggressive, you can go up, and if you want, like, you can just literally just bait them in, waste their time. If an enemy goes red to your lane and wastes like another 20-30 seconds, it's massive for your jungle, so I think that ward against things like the Pantheon are essential, and if not, they can just flash, blow your sums, or even get a kill, and if you don't have the teleport back to lane, you can literally just like lose your entire lane off a level 2 cheese gank, so I always recommend that ward. Alright, so the second ward I want to be showing you guys is literally the stock standard mid lane ward. You should be looking for this ward every single game. So as the third wave comes in, around about at 2:30, you want to be coming through, looking to get a trinket right here. And if you don't have time, like you need to be able to stick into the lane a bit more, this ward here can work as well. But both of these wards is going to counteract the jungle because like 80% of junglers go blue, red, then they look for either river or they look for top lane ganks or mid lane ganks. So this ward is going to spot out any jungler coming through the river here. It also means you can just hover down here, especially because your jungle is most likely going to be in this river. And if you can get priority and you have vision through here of the jungle, a lot of the time you can just come through, boom, look for the jungle, look for a 2v2, and look for a pick on the enemy jungle. You should always be looking for this ward, guys. So of course, guys, these ward fundamentals also apply onto the opposite side of the map when you're playing from red side. Although, when you're playing on red side, this is your standard mid lane ward. After the first two waves come in and the cannon wave hits, you want to be getting that ward straight through there. It's going to prevent pretty much the exact same, the red, blue into the river here. Every single time your trinket comes, guys, look to start placing them. Look to start putting them onto the map, providing something for your team. It's not just for you. It's for your jungler as well. It's for your laners. If the top laner sees the enemy jungler bot, it means he can play aggressive. He can do whatever he wants. Just know that your vision is not just for you. It's for your entire team, guys. So make sure you're dropping out your trinkets when you have them. Make sure you're buying those control wards on your bases. It's so important, and it's just going to be stepping up your gameplay. Alright, so these next two wards are very important as a mid laner. I actually don't see many mids doing this, but I think it's super important to prevent jungler invades and also top lane ganks. Like top lane, if your top's getting stomped, the enemy top has priority and they can roam straight down here. They're going to be looking to come through here and wrap around to gank you. So if you come through here, drop a ward right there, it's going to prevent that dive. It's going to prevent a lot of vision. It's going to prevent the enemy jungler going in for the blue buff and stuff like that. So I think that ward is super important. You want to pretty much just do it where this tree connects like that. Right in the middle there. Like, obviously, I play with a different graphic setting, but I mean, guys, you should be utilizing practice tool to come into yourselves and do this. And the other ward is for this side. And this one, it's like, if you're shoving in, obviously, you can do this ward as well. But also, if you're a mid lane on this side, you want to come up, put it right in that crack there. Pretty much right in that crack. And this is going to do exactly the same for bot lane ganks, jungler invades and stuff like that. And like, if you're also like playing really aggressive, you can, even if you want to drop a pink in there, that pink there sometimes can last for so fucking long. If you feel a little bit cheesy and aggressive, I like that ward. So a lot of the time for mid laners, I see people just coming, they'll just come in and do this. They'll just fucking go boom. They'll just literally just come in, they'll just drop their ward wherever. Just drop it. Sometimes even drop it straight through there. And I think this is just super inefficient because a lot of the time you're just denying yourself vision and efficiency. So like if there's okay, say there's like an enemy dummy, so there's like an enemy like sitting like right there. He's out of your vision, you can't see him with that ward. But if you take the time to place it at max vision, so to do that, so you just hover over until it's green. Boom, you can spot out extra vision. It's like same ward, literally exactly the same, but you're getting way more from this ward than this ward. So if you have the time to just literally just hover over, put it in, place it, come back, it's going to be providing you way more than just a normal, you know, just boom. that doesn't really provide that much. If you're in a really, if you don't have much time, like, obviously the quick ward is good, but eventually you're going to get faster at just, like, coming in, plopping it in. So this also applies for pink wards, guys. Like, I see a lot of people coming in and they'll drop their pink like this. They'll just fucking right here. And not only does this pink sometimes not spot out wards right on that furthest side, but it also not spotting out the enemy dummy. If you can come through, drop a pink like roundabout right here, boom. On the edge of this side, because you want vision more so on this than this side. So if you can make your ward hug that side of the brush, you get way more vision and you can spot enemies coming through here from a farther distance. It gives you a little bit more of a heads up. Another mistake I see a lot of mid laners doing is they just continuously place their trinkets in the mid lane side brush, like right here. I dead set think the only time you do that is if you're so far behind and you have no vision through here. If you have the time, please, for fuck's sake, come straight through and actually drop it either in the river. Like, you can drop one here if you don't have time. You can drop one here, and that's going to provide vision of this gank path through here. You can see the jungler going into the river. This ward here, it's just like, the only thing it can prevent is a jungler coming through, like, from here to look for a gank. This one just gives you so much more vision on the dragon, the objectives, up in the top side as well. Like, this pink here is great, but getting it, like, if a jungler wants to, he can slip through here, slip straight through, and you have no vision. But if you come through with the trinket, put it right in the river there, it's so fucking efficient because it's going to spot out the enemy jungle entering into the river. And also, if they want to go for ganks, invades up through here, you can look to counter gank. It just works out so much better to get your trinkets into the river than just like popping one in the mid lane side brush. I think mid lane side brushes should mainly be for your control wards. Alright, so these next two control wards are pretty much when you're, as a mid laner, you're behind, you're really struggling to come into the game, and maybe you're against an assassin like a LeBlanc, an Ahri, Echo, something that's looking to pop through across here. So if I'm playing TF, maybe I've got a Fiora top and I want to start snowballing, I'll just put a pink ward here, control ward here, and it's gonna prevent them getting their wards over here, getting vision onto your blue buff. It's just gonna protect your blue, and I think this is way more important when you're playing on red side actually, because so this control ward here, like right, you just place it right in here, and it's gonna prevent them getting any vision, especially if you're playing things like Twisted Fate. You know 100% they have no vision of you here, and you can pop into the bot lane. So these control wards here are for when you're really far behind. It's hard for you to actually contest these control wards up here. But this control ward here, the enemy really does struggle to clear this out. So if you're behind, guys, you're really struggling, your jungler's behind, you want to protect your blue, and also get good ganks into the bot lane, I definitely recommend these two control wards here. Another question I get asked a lot is like, Mibix, why do you place a trinket ward right in the middle of the lane? I honestly think these trinkets like here, and also up through here are so important, guys. Like, if you have, before you're basing, grab one of these wards out, and it's just going to prevent the enemy mid laner from shoving, and you're going to be able to see what he does. Is he going towards blue? Is he roaming? Maybe you're playing against a Xerath or a Jace who likes to back up and get poked from a long range. It can prevent that as well. It just gives you a lot more control and tracking of the enemy mid laner, especially if you're basing and you don't really have time to move up and get vision of him. So while I'm here, I might as well pop in a couple of extra little secret warding tricks that can definitely up your game, especially if you're playing things like support where you're placing a lot of wards. Like the first one here, place it right in that little rock, right in the rock right here. Block out this try. Pretty important if you're doing Drake from this side and you're looking to spot out the enemy, the bot lane coming through. This ward is essential. So this next ward is super important if you're like playing support or something. Against things like Zac, things like Rek'Sai that are going to be looking to tunnel over. So if you're playing bot lane, you're extending up through here, always try and grab this ward. I learned this actually from Ejim, one of the O support players. You literally just want to pop it up and you want to put it right on the second pebble here, and you can get it into this this brush here, which is super important. Another great one is if you're doing the dragon, guys, you want to get some vision across. It's pretty easy to get. You want to hug in straight through in this little crack here, and you just want to plonk it up into that brush there. It's so fucking good, especially if you're doing like Elder Dragon or something. If the enemy jungle is looking for a steal, that ward placements there, like, they're so important. Another great one is when you're coming up, you're just looking. I like to jump right onto the shield thing. Whatever the fuck this. I like to jump like right where the shield thing is. Just plop it right in the middle of this rock. I honestly think you guys need to be coming to practice tools yourselves and just practicing this before you get into games. I think this is like so important for mostly supports, but I mean, as a mid laner as well, you can be great. You can get in these wards, and a lot of the time, it's gonna help out a lot for your jungle. The next one is if you're a top laner, guys. You don't want to be jumping into this little crack. Like if you're getting shoved in a lot, this is really important. And I always just jump in, and then you just put it right in the middle of this little rock here. It's perfect. Prevents enemy junglers sitting there camping, waiting for you to overextend, and they're gonna come through for the gank. So that's it for my mid lane quick tips, guys. I hope it's helped. I hope you've learned a couple of new spots to ward in, and I guess just how to be more efficient with your vision. I think vision is definitely one of the key parts of being a challenger player. The difference between challenger and diamonds a lot of the time is really, really good vision control and playing around their vision. So until next time, I'll catch you later.